Hi everybody, Eugene here with Darkroom Software. In this quick video, we're going to talk about some camera connection issues. They are very common, easily solved, and these remedies should fix the majority of your issues. I would say right around 90%. So let's go ahead and jump right in, and we'll get started with the first one. Now this one is typically more common for core users that they've installed an app called the EOS utility. If I turn on my camera right here, you'll see a app that pops up that will interfere with Darkroom. So that's a real easy fix. What we're going to do is go right down here in our tray and right click, and we're going to say do not launch the EOS utility whenever the camera is connected. So we'll go ahead and turn the camera off again, and you can hear it disconnected. Then when we turn it back on, the EOS utility does not pop up, and I'm now able to connect my camera. That's a little bit more common with core. Most of the issues we're going to be talking about are with booth, but they do apply to core. So what we're talking about is the unable to take photo message, or your camera is just not showing up. Typically, those are going to be one of two issues: either a connection issue with the camera or a focusing issue. So a focusing issue is real easy to determine, and I'll show you what that might look like. So if we go to my camera, you can see I'm in manual mode and my camera is set is on detected. If I start the booth, the live view should show up, but one thing is it's focusing on a green background. There's no texture for it to be able to see. You can see it's out of focus. So if the camera cannot achieve focus, it can't take a photo. So you can see here it goes, it's trying. So we're seeing retaking. And the camera's actually not taking a picture. It's the mirror that's flipping up that you hear. It sounds like a shutter, but it's actually the mirror flipping out, so you can see. But you can, as you can see, that is the issue more than likely that you're here watching this video for. So one simple fix is on the side of the camera, it's on the lens, there's going to be a little switch that says AFMF. And that's for manual focus, autofocus. It has nothing to do with being in manual mode, but it will switch to manual focus. And now, even though it cannot find focus, and this might be because it's too dark, or for whatever reason, that it will still take an image. What that means is you just have to pre-focus your camera, look through the viewfinder, pre-focus it, and then it will allow it to capture the image at a set focus and distance. So hopefully that solved the problem for a good majority of you users. But the next thing comes along, and the most common thing I see is an issue with the USB cable. In this situation, we have this extra long one. So once again, more common with core users, because core users want to have the ability to walk around and roam. But a long USB cable, an old USB cable, one that's not functioning right. So simple quick fix for that: swap it out with a shorter USB cable and see if it works. If it works, then you know it's a problem with the USB cable. The next thing is that we'll be talking about is the USB hub. A lot of times this one right here would be this would probably be underpowered if I had a camera plugged in, a printer plugged in, and my phone or whatever. So what I recommend is, for both tests, plug the camera directly into the computer, restart the computer, because more than likely by now there's an issue with the drivers just because it had a problem losing connection over and over and over. So restart the computer, plug the camera directly into the computer, and I know some of you are going to say I only have one USB port, so I need my hub, but this is just a test. After you restart it, plug it in, test it out, see if it works. If it does, then plug your hub back in and see if it stops working. Sometimes that'll fix it and get you through an event, but if it stops working, replace the hub. And it's really important that you use a powered USB hub. This one just plugs in and it's using bus power, and all that equipment that are plugged into the hub are drawing power from your computer. So when you get a USB hub, make sure it comes with a little adapter that plugs into an outlet and plugs in so that it's receiving its own separate power and not drawing power from the computer and being underpowered. So if your hub functions, now the other issue could be the USB cable. So it's a good idea to just keep a couple extra USB cables that are not huge lengths. I typically suggest a 6 foot. At 10 feet you might see a loss in power in the signal, so I try to stay at 6 feet as backup cables. Like typical when I'm shooting core, I'm usually using a 10-foot cable, but I try to stay away from that if I am going to need a longer distance. I unplug, go wireless, and use a hot folder camera. Once again, that's all for core users, but keeping a few extra USB cables in your bag will save you over and over and over. So you make the mistake once, you don't make it twice typically. Also keep another backup USB hub, because any failure point, you need to have a backup plan for it. So typically those issues are going to be caused by a failure issue or a focusing issue. You just switch to manual focus to determine if that's the issue, and then you can adjust accordingly. Or a connection issue, and the way to bypass that is to test with a single USB cable, a new one that is short, plugged directly into the computer, and see if it's a connection issue. Remember, it's a good idea to restart the computer when you're running these tests, because the drivers can get affected by a interruption in the connection. So restarting it after you run a few tests is a good idea, just to make sure that it's not a driver issue that's been brought on by a connection issue. I hope this is helpful. Hopefully you're not watching this in an emergency, but if you are, I hope it helps you there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching. Here are a couple of videos that YouTube thinks that you might enjoy. Be sure to like, subscribe, but more importantly, if there's something you want to learn a little bit more about, comment below this video and I'll do my best to add it as a future video. I'll see you in the next one.